EFT tapping on that feeling like the other shoe is going to drop. It's really interesting. I worked with two different people today, one on a call with GP Walsh and one privately. And in both cases, there was this feeling like this other shoe is going to drop. Actually, both used that phrase. And it can be a really, really intense force that actually holds us back from doing things, maybe even allowing things into our life that are going to let things get better, because nothing hurts more than getting something really good, being elevated, and then when things go bad, when that other shoe drops, that's actually going to feel even worse than just sort of keeping it low. And a lot of times that's a strategy we're unconsciously implementing or being run in the background as a way of protecting us, to not have that sort of volatility, or maybe even that what we perceive as a catastrophic, even fatal crash, if we allow ourselves to feel good feelings. And you may be feeling that sense the other shoe is going to drop just right now, even just with whatever is happening. There's still a sense that it's going to get worse. So let's explore this feeling and see where we go. Even though I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop, I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop, maybe I've experienced it in the past. Maybe it's a deeply held belief. Maybe there's evidence behind that belief. If things get better, or maybe even where things are in this moment in my life, there's a feeling that something bad is going to happen. And we need to hold on to that in order to prepare ourselves and protect ourselves. So even though I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself and the situation I'm in, or the situation I'm imagining that will cause that other shoe to drop. Okay, through the points now. I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop. I'm afraid something really bad is going to happen. If I allow things to get better, if there's that great success, maybe even a small success, maybe things are pretty okay right now, and that's enough for this deeply held fear to come up to the surface. That belief that once things are good, or great, or even just okay, something feels like it's an inevitable law that something bad needs to happen. And I want to acknowledge that. Maybe I've diminished this feeling. Maybe I've rejected this feeling, saying, oh, that's just fear. That's just silly. Maybe I've tried to positive think it away. But this is held more deeply than that. This is something inside protecting me. So can I be open to acknowledging it? Maybe seeing it for what it is. Because a big part of me wants to protect me from pain, disappointment, and certainly from dying. And maybe there's something sensible there that says the worst thing that could happen to us is to let things get really good, or let ourselves feel too good, because then we're going to be elevated. And the higher we get, the harder we fall. And maybe that's happened to me in the past. And I want to bring up those times that have given me this evidence. Allowing myself to feel and process the pain that may be there. The memory of that fall. And I want to look at the reaction it caused. It says, well, we don't want that to happen again. And I agree with that. I don't want that either. But I want to question that assumption. Bad things may have happened to me. Falls and disappointments. But did it happen because things were okay? If I felt really bad before that, would that have stopped it? Is correlation causation here? Is it true that if I feel bad now, or that I keep things at a certain level now, that actually guarantees my safety? Does it even significantly change the odds of something happening? If it does, then it's not a bad strategy. But is it really true? When I look at people who feel bad, or who have particularly challenging lives, does nothing happen to them? And the challenges and disappointments from the difficult to the fatal, does that only happen to people who are really happy or really successful? These things happen all the time to people of all walks of life. And I don't say that to be grim. I say that to question the strategy. Does holding on to this assumption that the other shoe is going to drop actually help it not happen? Does it actually help me be better prepared? If I feel good today, or I feel bad today, is that really improving my odds? And can I be so sure that by feeling worse now, by expecting that other shoe to drop, that it's actually going to brace me anymore for when life happens? Allowing myself to see through that a little bit. To at least question it. And to take that even further. When difficult things happen in life, when things happen that I might describe as the dropping of that shoe, does that event have to have the same impact in my inner world? What if I have more power here than I realize? What if by cultivating my ability to feel more open, to feel more accepting, to feel better right now, will actually help me feel better, be more resilient, and be stronger and more centered and grounded if and when things do happen. So maybe it's a win-win here to allow myself to focus on what I can appreciate right now, what feels good right now, and the good things I could allow into my life, and the good things I can move towards. Maybe that only has benefits. Maybe it doesn't increase the odds of something happening. Maybe it increases the odds of something good happening. Maybe it increases my inner capacity to feel better despite what's happening. So I'm allowing myself to embrace those upsides by holding on to the fear and expectation. It doesn't help my body. I'm not sure it changes the circumstances for the better. I'm not sure it prevents anything from happening. But by focusing on where I want to go, opening up more and more so that I can safely feel good, that I don't have to expect that other shoe to drop, and in fact, by focusing on what feels good to me, it might actually be easier to anticipate things that could go wrong and take the real-world practical steps that might be relevant to me. I don't have to be in deep fear in order to do the things to prepare. If I need to put storm windows into my house, I don't need to sit around fearing tornadoes all day. I can do what I need to do and feel good doing it. And prepare in whatever way is appropriate and allow myself to feel good and feel safe. Okay, let's take a deep breath. As always, happy to hear how that feels for you. If that brings up anything else you'd like to work on, any different directions, again, with all of these subjects, or at least the ones that are a little broader like this, there can be pretty specific areas that come up for you that warrant a little bit deeper exploration, especially those things where we might say, bring up an event, or you may have had something in your past that creates that association for the other shoe to drop. There may be things there you want to work on a little bit more detailed around that event, but might not necessarily be the case. Never think you have to work through every issue, every memory, right? Sometimes these processes, the beauty of them is you hit on the emotion processes and everything around it can go. But like I said, if it brings up something that you might want to explore further and you feel it might be appropriate to do it here, let me know in the comments, and you can always reach out if you want to work one-on-one or in one of the calls where I do that. We can go in on a more personal level. So thanks again. Hope it helps, and I hope to see you soon.